The women did what they could, but they couldn't salvage this bullshit show. Thanks, Retribution. I'm John Ritlin with my review, WWE Smackdown, and look, the Retribution angle's awful. It's fucking awful. They made it worse than they did at the end of Smackdown last week. They've somehow made it even worse. You can do invasion angles, and you can do them right, but guess what? It did not. This ain't working. This ain't fucking working at all. And you know Vince is fucking laughing because it's like, oh, they're an apolitical company. Look, I'm not saying the politics don't belong in wrestling and haven't been in wrestling for a while, and there have been plenty of bad political shit that WWE and various other companies have done. But fucking hell, this is fucking tone deaf. Fox must approve, though, because, I mean, it's Fox Network. Why wouldn't they? They recapped the Retribution bullshit. It was fucking dumb. Where'd the guy get the chainsaw, by the way? Where'd he get the chainsaw? Biggie and Morrison. Biggie tried to suffocate Corey Graves, pulling a Benoit there. And then we get the Retribution. The group called Retribution, calling themselves Retribution, comes out and attacks everybody. Nobody from behind the plexiglass tried to stop this, which was hilarious to me. Then everyone's arguing backstage. First, Big E argues with Corbin, and then he argues with Sheamus. It seems like we're going to get Big E versus Sheamus at some point. Fine, cool. All right, that match. Bayley and Sasha, they're going to defend their tag team championships at Payback, which is happening a week after SummerSlam. I'm not fucking kidding. Payback's going to be like maybe a 2-hour show. I recognize they're trying to have more big events and drum up interest, but seriously, it's just a week after SummerSlam, which I imagine was originally supposed to be a Saudi show. But why the fuck did you even have it? Just cancel it. You don't need to have a show literally 1 week after one of your big four. And then they do the ring announcing for Bayley and Sasha, that is, do the ring announcing for the Triple Brand Battle Royal, which has the Iconics, Tegan Nox, Shotzi, Lacey, and then Asuka comes out, who was unannounced, and Bayley and Sasha are all scared, and they get laid out or get beat up by Asuka. And then everybody else does a run-in. Ruby, Liv, Naomi, Tamina, Bianca, Dana, Shayna, and Nikki Cross. And if I missed anybody else, I do apologize. Look, it was scrambled, and all these women deserve their shot. They deserve their time, and I'm glad they got a lot of women on here. But once it got down to the final few, it was fine, I guess. Ruby and Liv enjoyed fisting the Iconics, I guess, and vice versa. It was down to, what was it, Tegan, Dana, Shayna, and Asuka. Tegan got eliminated because Dana was outside the ring. Then Dana got back in. Dana got tossed out eventually. It was down to Shayna and Asuka. And then Shayna tries to eliminate Asuka. And her feet land on Bayley and then Sasha Dimes' stack of dimes neck. And then she gets back in the ring and beats Shayna, eliminates her. So we're going to get Asuka in 2 title matches. Enough of the double champion thing. I get that they're having Asuka try to get Retribution, the group called Retribution, or Revenge, I guess is really what I should say, for what happened, you know, when Asuka stupidly, it was just a dumb decision, stupidly lost the Raw Women's Championship. So I get what they're trying to do, but here's the thing, stop doing double champion stuff. New Japan's doing it still, and it's ridiculous, and any other company that's doing it, it's ridiculous. It's one thing to do it if you have a plan for a story. They don't have a plan for Bayley and Sasha, unless that plan is to severely annoy the mass populace of the fans. And if you like Bayley and Sasha, that's fine. I'm over it. I don't care if they feud. So, Asuka then lays out both of them backstage, and then we get Match Flow sponsoring the Mandy Sonia feud, Match Flow sponsoring a women's thing. I see what you did there. Mandy is dressed like Miss Hancock for New Blood Rising. Please don't do that angle. She challenges Sonia to a hair versus hair match. They didn't say which hair. That's going to get me in trouble. Moving on from that, Nikki and Alexa are there. And Nikki literally knows that Alexa's like 10 feet from her. Oh, Lexi! Sorry to any of my Scottish fans. All like 3 of you that might be watching this. But, oh, she's apologizing. Alexa, I'm sorry that you got violently fingered by the Fiend a couple of weeks ago after I shoved you. She didn't say that, but that's what I'm going to make her say. And Alexa's like, I'm fine, I'm fine. This is Alexa's last appearance for the night. Or is it? Gable versus Sheamus. It was okay. I didn't really care because I have no direction for Gable. Gable gets a bro kick for 3. And in Styles with a man that looks a lot like Abyss, but looks more like Joseph Park. It's Abyss. It's TNA 2005. Ironically, Impact Wrestling tweeted out, hey, see Styles and Abyss take on each other at Lockdown 2005. You know, when TNA was good. I'm not saying that they aren't doing some good stuff now and they don't have some good talents, because they do. But there has been, this is the most buzz they've had positively in at least the last 4 years. Because they always seem to kind of shoot themselves in the foot. I wish nothing but the best for the people I enjoy in Impact Wrestling. They really do have a good knockouts division. Katie Forbes, whatever that fucking thing is, notwithstanding. So, we then get Styles with Abyss in a dry erase board, even though there's a permanent marker on there. It's the Phenomenal Intercontinental Statistics System, PISS, because Vince McMahon is a goddamn child. I enjoy making bad jokes, but piss. Piss jokes. Speaking of piss jokes, here's Jeff Hardy, who tossed piss in Sheamus' face. Remember that? Remember that bullshit? He challenges Styles to a match. Basically, we're going back to TNA 2004. And there we go. Hopefully they will not help Jeff Hardy win. Remember that? We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of that, where they turned Jeff Hardy heel. You know, that turn that nobody fucking wanted. Or at least the vast majority of people didn't. And then while Cesaro and Nakamura are talking, they have their tag titles on, the little shelf behind them. Mandy and Dorado steal them because Fox had to have the Hispanics steal something on their television. And then we get Nakamura with Cesaro versus Mandy with Dorado, and suddenly the captain of Team Do Good Lucha thing is back. Apparently, Kalisto was out with some kind of shoulder injury. Not that I knew, because I didn't even really notice that he was gone until like a couple weeks ago. I was like, hey, where the fuck is he? Good on him. Looks like he's gotten in great shape. I would have congratulated him, but he blocked me a number of years ago on Twitter. I think he blocked a lot of people after the whole Do a Good Lucha thing, even though I have nothing against the guy, but moving on. Mandy pinned Nakamura. Fine, cool. Riddle is talking to Kayla. Kayla hopefully kept her distance. And Gable's here to apologize to Riddle for what happened. He's got kids. He's taken over Heath Slater's gimmick. Oh, dear. And then suddenly Corbin, using his scepter, jamming Riddle from behind, and he knocks him down. And then we get an Alexa interview. Why did the interviewer sound like he was in like some kind of echo chamber 50 miles away, and the noise is just being piped in through a phone? Like, seriously, there's social distancing, and then there's where is this guy? Was he in Texas? I mean, I know it's more than 50 miles away, but seriously, he might as well have been. And talks the history with Braun. I don't know what happened to Braun. I don't know what caused him to change. And then she talked about being violently fingered by the Fiend without using that wording, but I'm going to keep doing that because that's what they fucking had happen, the violent fox fingering. Oh, and then she talks about how, you get drawn into being around the Fiend. You get used to it after a while, is what she said. Stockholm Syndrome. Awesome. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title next week. People are wondering why it's not on SummerSlam. One, since they don't have fans, they're trying to make these pay-per-views shorter. I can respect that. Also, they're trying to drum up ratings, which Vince McMahon wouldn't have to do if he gave a damn about putting on a compelling wrestling program, but he doesn't, because you can mix wrestling and entertainment, but Vince has done neither. In my opinion, of course. Some has been good. A lot of it's been bad. Then we get Sonia accepting the challenge from Mandy. Cool. I think Sonia's going to look great bald, because if Sonia doesn't lose, I'll be surprised. Then Morrison versus Big E. Miz on commentary. Otis is here suddenly. The worst Money in the Bank winner of all time, by the way. Just drop the Money in the Bank concept in general. Just drop it. You're done with it. And then the lights are blinking. The group known as Retribution is attacking backstage. Then a bunch of people are at ringside and then go back there to try and stop after referees. And a guy got locked in a bathroom stall. I don't know why the fuck that happened. I guess maybe he was really stinking up the joint. They're like, fuck, we gotta close this door. Let's give him his privacy. And good God, it's like something died in there. Nope, that was just this angle. The group known as Retribution. And a stretch muffler for the tap. And here's Sheamus attacking Big E. And then Baldy Braun. And he talks about eviscerating Bray and eating him. He talks about putting the Fiend in his mouth on camera. Then Alexa is upset at Braun and slaps him repeatedly. A volley of repeated strokes to the head. If you get that reference, I love you guys. And then he press slams her. The lights go out. And then Alexa's on the ground. They cut out the lights just as he, throws her. So I'm assuming they would have crash pad out or something. Because that would have been a pretty, I wouldn't say that would be a short fall for Alexa because anything's a big fall because she's so short. And then the Fiend and Alexa, and suddenly Braun's on the screen. Braun's supposed to be the, by the way, this is what I fucking think of the show. Braun's supposed to be the heel because no other reason why he would do this. I mean, there's no other reason. He's turning the Fiend changes people. Can the Fiend change people to be interesting? Can the Fiend make himself interesting? Because I'm kind of over the Fiend character. It's different, but I'm kind of over it. He doesn't need to win the Universal title, and he probably will, and I'm sorry, I don't really care. I don't really care what happens to the Universal Championship. The Retribution stuff ruined it. This was not a well-written show. It was not very interesting. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.